And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Little perspective there, Ben.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. We're going to start the show talking some jazz. We're going to talk to Mike Smith out of the gate. He's got world-famous TV production meetings that happen on game days, so we got to bump Mike a little bit early.
Okay. Move him up. We're getting bumped.
I've heard it's like a thorough makeup session. Like,
thorough or thorough?
Oh, I guess I could see why you'd be confused there. I said thorough.
Thorough. Yeah.
It takes hours to get that face put just like it.
You're talking about a limo. Mike rolls out of bed. Perfect. Pristine.
Well, I've never seen Mike after
Glistening.
he rolled out of bed, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Mike hops
Glistening.
up. Head to the sports mall or wherever we think Mike hangs out.
I know his hair is fine.
Yeah,
I'll tell
right.
you that.
Yeah.
Absolutely no bedhead. Mike's never had a day of bedhead.
You've seen American Psycho? You've
in
seen
his
the
life.
movie American Psycho?
I actually haven't.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. There's a famous how he gets ready in the morning scene. Just like all the things he does to keep his pristine face, ice packs under the eyes and cream and all sorts of things.
Did you ever watch the Lakers show, whatever it was called?
Winning Time.
Winning Time. Did you ever watch that?
So the first season.
So the first, I don't know if it was the first scene in the first episode. It was somewhere at the very beginning where they showed who's that bozo actor who played Jerry Buss.
John C. Reilly.
Who was awesome as Jerry Buss, by the way. And Ron Boone is a character on that show, which is incredible. But they showed him going through the routine to put his comb over together every morning. It's like that guy went through that every morning.
Every day.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Joining us now, Mike, did you ever see, and it was kind of a random tangent, but did you ever see the Winning Time show? What was it on, Ben? HBO? About the 80s Lakers. Did you ever watch that?
With Kate Hudson?
No,
that's Running Point.
Yeah, that's a different basketball show. No, this one was John C. Reilly. Who else was in it, Ben?
Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody. It was about Magic Johnson coming to the Lakers and
Pat Riley taking over.
Pat Riley taking over and that whole story. The Celtics, Bird plays a big role in it.
He does.
It's a really good show. I'd be curious to your opinion on it.
Oh, I need to see it. No, I haven't. I recently saw the Kate Hudson one, which is
was
kind of a play on the whole Lakers situation. But no, I did not see Winning Time. I think I need to.
Dude, Booner is a dang character on the show.
Yep, he is.
Who is Boone?
Boone. Ron Boone is a character on the show because he was on the Lakers on Magic Johnson's rookie season, and they made Boone a villain.
Yep, they did.
They made him a villain?
Yeah.
He's the greatest guy in the world.
Correct.
That's not right.
On the planet, and they turned him into a villain.
He was traded, I don't know how many games into that season, and did not get a ring. That's not cool.
So anyway, Mike, you need to watch that.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, I will.
Jazz lose by 55 to the Hornets. It was a disaster, but not one you ever see coming, but with who was available, not surprising they lost. Then they go out and, the score wasn't that dramatic of a blowout. What was it, 123, 114, or 123, 112, whatever it was against the Cavaliers. But outside of a pretty lousy second quarter, the Jazz were just way better than Cleveland. What did you see on Monday night?
Oh, that's well said. I commented to Lemma many times as we were up in the studio waiting for our turn to go on the air, right, before the game, halftime after the game. I'm like, Cleveland's not that good. And then I'd say to them, are they just not having a good game? Because we don't see them that often, right? But at that point last year, they're 34-6 with the number one offense in the league. They're just not that good. And take nothing away from the Jazz performance because that was an incredible bounce-back win. And their defense was sharp in the second half. you throw out the Charlotte game, which I know they weren't at full strength, and you just look at the defensive metrics from the OKC game, come home on the next night, play Dallas, win that game, and they're right, a Shea Gilgeous game-tying buzzer beater from beating OKC, and then the win over Cleveland at Cleveland. Those three defensive games show me promise and progress. I was like, okay, like they're starting to get it and starting to do it. And those numbers were noteworthy because the other numbers, at other points in the season, right, they're trying to avoid being the worst defensive team in the league 2 years in a row, maybe 3 years in a row. So whatever improvement you have is great, but it's significant improvement. And anyway, I have lots of thoughts. I thought the Jazz played great, and I was proud of them for bouncing back. But I also have thoughts on Cleveland. What the heck? Mobley's not what he once was. Jared Allen was a non-factor in that game. Sam Merrill's carved out a nice career for himself. Okay. I'm happy for him. He's a great dude and happy for the local flavor. But he doesn't move the needle. And, Jake, as I told you on the pregame show the other night, if Donovan's your best player, you're not going to win at all.
Yeah, and I don't. Ben and I were talking about this, and I think Cleveland's interesting because it's really watching a repeat. Some similar things that we saw with Donovan on the Jazz, but I don't know if the current whatever Donovan has become in his career makes other players better.
It's a good thought, and I mean, take nothing away from Donovan's run. Right, the 13th pick, 9 years of 20 years in a row, or 20 points or more, 9 years in a row. That's amazing. This year, nearly 30 points a game. His numbers are good, his rebounds, assists are on par with the norm. His shooting percentages are way up. But that team does not win games that matter. And that's harsh, I guess, but I think that game never entered into what we would call clutch. Within 5 points in the last 5 minutes, I think the Jazz always had 6 or 7 or more down the stretch against Cleveland. They just couldn't get it close. But that Cleveland team is 8-14 in clutch games. That's not going to win you playoff series, and that's not going to get you to the conference finals. And, I mean, they've lost, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, they've lost twice in the first round and once in the second round in the last 3 years.
I think it might be twice in the second round, but you're regardless.
Yeah, but maybe they're not headed anywhere great. When Darius Garland's not what he once was, and that could be because of injuries, right? He missed the whole 12 of the first 14 games. Now he's back. He does average 19 a game, but I don't feel like he's the threat he once was. And, Jake, it was either you or Tim Lacombe made a good point on our show the other night before the game, is that when your two best players share the same skill set, they rob from each other a little bit. Like, it's not as valuable as if, how you have a Keontae and a Lowry, right, or a Shaq and a Kobe, right? If your two best players share the same skills outside smaller players that can shoot and score, then it's not as beneficial.
Mike, I agree with everything you're saying, and I think kind of what you were saying, the problem is that the Cavaliers misdiagnosed who Donovan is, whether they thought he was a number one or not, or whether they thought Evan Mobley was going to become a number one or a player better than Donovan. They were going to have a championship window open up, which really never just truly happened. So moving that to the Jazz, do you feel comfortable diagnosing who Lowry is going to be when the Jazz put this together, or who Keontae George is going to be when they start trying to win games, meaning do you think they feel confident that they have a number two guy or a number three guy or potentially they're a number one guy?
Well, I think you're seeing who they are. And I think with Lowry, you could say that's who he is. He's better than he was last year. He's better than he was 2 years ago. He's better than he was 3 years ago, which is the year he emerged on the Jazz scene and averaged 25 a game and had great numbers, made an all-star team, most improved in the league. He's better than that now. last year I didn't like the way Lowry played. And that's no criticism of him. I just didn't like how often he caught and shot the ball. It almost felt like he was trying to become a catch-and-shoot, anomaly. And then the Jazz utilized him in a way where I think they wanted to take advantage of his size, put him at the elbow, and say, okay, let's take advantage of this mismatch and give him the ball there. Lowry is not an elbow catch player who's going to win you a game from there. He's also not a post-up player. Now, that's not to say that he can't slip a pick as he did so adeptly in that game late against Cleveland when he went across the lane to set a pick and Sam Merrill bumped him. Lowry slipped the pick and Love threw him a beautiful pass for an and one. Like, he's a great cutter, and he's best in movement, and he's very difficult to guard. So whatever I said about it, what he wasn't last year, I like who he is this year. And I feel like this is who he is going forward. He's 28. Is he going to get worse? No. He's not going to get worse. He comes from an athletic family. Both brothers are professional athletes. Both mom and dad are champions. The kid is a little bit of an introvert. He's wired to be disciplined and work. It's just who he is. So that says to me, over the next 5 years, 28 to 33, he only works harder and gets better. So he is who he is, and I like it. Getting better. If Keontae stays on path for what he's doing this year and continues his same mannerisms and facial expressions on the court, which are way better than a year ago, he's all business now. Not that he was a goofball before, but I don't know that I saw the same leadership last year that I do now. I don't know that I saw the same professionalism as I do now. Like when he scores or plays great or makes a play, his reactions are now that of a champion. His reactions are now ones I like to see. If I'm the coach or the owner or the GM, I'm like, I like this kid. Like he acts like he's done it before and he's going to do it again. So if his trend and his progress and his momentum stays throughout this season, and granted, you can go back like December 1, I don't know how many games it is. It's around 16 or 17 games since December 1. He's had two clunkers. One was an Oklahoma City game almost a month ago, right? He scored 8, didn't play great, but they keyed on him. And the other game was this recent game when Lowry didn't play, Charlotte, and I think he played 18 minutes. He had 4 points, and the game was over 15 minutes into it. Take those games out, the rest of the games, he's shooting 50%, 42% from three, and averaging 30 points a game. Like, I like who that's becoming. The second part of your question is one of them a 1, a 2, or a 3? I don't know that because I don't know how great Keontae can get. But if those are your 2 and 3, and regardless of which one's your 2 and 3, and you find a 1, you're contending for a title every year.
Mike, I want to ask you a hypothetical, all right? If Walker Kessler did not get hurt, and if the Jazz were trying to win every game and didn't do the, lineup dance, were pouring it on, how many games do you think this team would win?
40 to 42. This is where you say take a little longer to answer.
No, I was letting it hang out there. I mean, I actually would be in the same neighborhood, I think. I don't know, Ben. What do you think?
I'm really curious, Mike, how big of a gap you think fourth-year Walker Kessler and whatever this is, 11th year Jusuf Nurkic is. Nurkic is playing really well, and I know the shooting percentages are silly, and I know he does goofy stuff on the floor, but when he's playing well, the Jazz are really, really hard to beat. And the games when he has gone out there, which has been probably half the games he's been out there, he really helps the Jazz win games.
No, I agree. Like, I get my 41 number from, like, the last 8 games in a really tough, difficult stretch, including road games and travel. Those last 8 when Lowry and Nurkic play, I think they're 4-4. And it might be 5-4 after last night's win or 2 nights ago. So Nurk is playing great. His last 7 games numbers are fantastic. 18 or 19 points, 11 boards, 3 or 4 assists. Like, they're great. And he's better than I thought he was. He, at the beginning of the season, was kind of who I thought he was. But now I'm kind of like, oh, like, he's valuable. So I don't know. You were asking something about Walker. The difference between 11-year Nurk and 4th-year Walker, they're different players altogether. Completely different. Walker's a much better rim protector, a much better shot blocker, has lift, has leg speed, has mobility. He's nimble. He's quick. He changes the game at the rim on the defensive end. Nurk, not so much, except his size and girth and strength can corral you some rebounds and win you positioning. And Nurk does that on the other end, too. So he's a factor on the offensive boards, not as gifted as Walker. Walker has a sense for the ball, a nose for the ball. Nurk, on the other hand, is gifted with his hand-eye skills. He's got great touch. He throws little, beautiful backdoor bounce passes. He sees angles. Walker's not wired that way. Walker is a learned offensive player. He can be a bit robotic at times, but that's not to say Walker couldn't become adept in the post or on the catch. Walker's great at catching lobs. He's got good instincts that way. But they're different entities.
Ben and I were, just to further this, Mike, Ben and I want an example from you, but Ben and I were talking about how heavy Nurk is. And not just heavy, but he's like a heavy player. Like, if Nurk's leaning on you all night, it's going to be a long night for you, regardless. And I'm curious, did you ever play against, who was the heaviest player you ever played against? Like, he's just going to lean on you the whole game and you're just going to die out there,
Okay, so I'm in my era, the 80s, like, power forwards were freaking studs. Like, think of Buck Williams. Like, they were just big guys. They were 6'9" to 6'10". They were 230 to 250 pounds. Think Karl Malone. Think Antoine Carr. Think Cliff Livingston. So I'm kind of a tweener. I'm the height of a power forward. I'm the skill set of a small forward. So Roy Tarpley's another example of a guy in my era who's 6'10", 260.
Heavy 260.
Yeah.
Heavy, long arms. My best Roy Tarpley story is he didn't want it every night. So in the middle of my rookie year, I'm starting this stretch of 8 games. And so it came on the heels of a Jazz game. So embarrassingly, I had like 30 tickets for the Celtics Jazz my rookie year for all my college buddies to come. And I played 4 minutes at the end of the game. I was so embarrassed. And the Jazz blew us out, Stockton and Malone. They crushed us, probably beat us by 20. But I did get in the last 4 minutes, and I made 4 shots in 4 minutes. And so my teammates teased me on the bus ride to, the next game or the airport the next morning. Like, Smitty, you played 4 minutes, you got 4 shots up. That's unbelievable. I go, hey, I made them all. Well, anyway, the next night we go to Golden State. I start, and we win. The next night we go to Denver. I start, and we win. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world. Then we go home to play Dallas. And Dallas has, Derek Harper and Rolando Blackman and really good guards and Mark Aguirre, but they got Roy Tarpley. And Roy Tarpley is leading the league in rebounding and leading the league in offensive rebounding at 5 a game. And coach says to me, Smitty, you're starting again. You have one job tonight. I go, what's that? They go, Tarpley doesn't get one offensive rebound. I don't care how much you score. That's your job. Bird will score. McHale will score. You don't need to put up 20 points or 15, nothing. Just don't let him get an offensive board. And I'm telling you what, he must have been on something that night because he did not want it. He was, not even trying. The first 3 shots went up. He kind of meandered to the offensive glass. I put a forearm in his chest and just stopped his progress and did it the next 2 times. And he looked at me and said, are you going to box me out every time? And I said, every single time. He never went to the glass again. I think he was so tired or he was high. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying something like that. I don't know. But I finished with 21-8, and we won. And I was like, Coach gave me a high five. He's like, you accomplished your goal. But like in my day, the power forwards, the best scorers were the 2s and 3s, always. But the 4-men were studs. Like, it was just a different breed. You didn't have any Chet Holmgrens in my day. They were big, muscle-bound guys. Otis Thorpe, Wayman Tisdale. These are 250 to 60-pound NFL tight ends playing power forward. And they posted up, like, all the time. Every team ran plays to get that guy the ball in the post. So, yes, they leaned on you and they wore on you, and Nurk probably has the same effect on some of the other bigs.
Roy Tarpley's been dead for 10 years, so you're probably okay saying whatever you want. And, yeah, famously got banned for drug use in the NBA.
260 pounds, that's like 2.5 bends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Doing the math on the air. Hey, here's a quick number for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Jazz are 8-5 when Nurk grabs 11 rebounds or more.
Oh, I like it.
I don't know if that's causal. I don't know if that's, correlation. I don't know. But it's when he rebounds well, the Jazz are good.
They're 7-3 when Keontae scores 30. I think they're 10-6 when Keontae gets 8 or more free throws. So there's like some cool little indicators out there. Like when those things are happening and when the ball's moving, I bet there's a great indicator when their turnovers are down. When their turnovers are sub 15, I bet that's a good one. I'm going to look that up when I get home. It'll be fun. It's Chicago Bulls, and I don't know. You can't win all 5 games on the road trip till you win the first 2.
So, Mike, have you ever seen the show The Shield or Commish? You know the actor Michael Chiklis, the bald guy from The Shield or Commish? You know who I'm talking about?
I have not seen the shows, but I know the actor and the name for sure.
They cast that guy in the HBO show. They cast that guy as Red Auerbach, and I thought it was a particularly masterful job.
Yeah.
I thought he
good.
was. I think he was really good as Red. So you'll have to
way to bring it full circle, Jake.
That's what I do,
love
buddy.
It. Michael Chiklis. The worst thing that ever happened to me is that Red Auerbach, when he drafted me, said he plays a lot like Larry.
Oh yeah, that's
that quote haunted me because nobody was Larry.
Yeah,
nobody has been since. Yeah, nobody has been since. But that's what he said to the media, and so every day at practicing games, the media says, "Oh, you're not as good as Larry." I go, "Yeah, no duh."
Who is?
Yeah,
who is?
He's better than everyone in the league right now. I mean, it's just.
That's rough.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me on.
You rock, Mike. Have fun at your meeting, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
There you go. The one and only Mike Smith.
he plays like a bigger Jeff Lamp. Red could have done Mike some favors.
Who was it? Somebody was trying to get. Was it Andy? Was trying to get Will Hardy to compare Keontae George with Donovan Mitchell, and it's a fine thing to ask. It was a fine question, but he didn't do it. He just said, what did he say? Yeah, Keontae's going to run his own race or whatever. It's unfair to make those types of comparisons.
Absolutely.
For the reason that Mike just said right there. I mean, the right answer is, you know what? He's his own guy. Because as soon as you start saying that he's the next this or that or this or that, then you're setting a standard. And by the way, I do think there is a big difference between comps and this guy's going to be that, right? Because we all like to play the comp game.
Of course, yeah.
And just because you compare this person's game to that person's game does not mean that they are going to turn into that person. I think we can all understand that conversation, right? But for Red Auerbach, of all people, to be like, this guy's got a lot of bird.
He looks like Bird to me.
There's Bird.
What?
All of a sudden, the crazy morons in the fan base are going to be like,
I'm waiting for Larry. We got the second Larry Bird. Red said it.
Didn't Larry win immediately too when he got to Boston? It's not like there was like a grace period or anything.
Sure
he was
not.
like good day one.
They won Rookie of the Year, and they were excellent.
So that's not fair.
No, It's not.
Poor
Mistake
Mike?
by Red, yeah.
Poor Mike. I'm sure it did hound him. All right. Join Hans and Scotty coming up tomorrow at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, big news from the Hill. Yesterday, Devon Dampier announces his return to Utah. That means the Utes will have both quarterbacks returning.
In my opinion, this is the single biggest news that could have happened to Utah this offseason. Witt coming back, Morgan Scalley taking over, whoever the offensive coordinator was going to be, yada, yada, yada. Truth is, the game is won on the field, and the game is won by who has the ball in their hands most of the time. And Devon Dampier and Bird Ficklin proved to be a very dynamic offensive duo, and I think it's fair to expect they could be better next year. Now, they could be worse because they do no longer have Jason Beck, who was very good at operating with players in that realm, in that ilk. But those two coming back, had they not, it wouldn't have crippled the Utah football team next year, but it would have made it really, really difficult to have any expectations for them. Am I overstating it?
I don't know. I don't. I am so tired of this going and staying and whatever. I'm very close to not caring who's on the team at all anymore. What's Devon Dampier's number? I'm just going to call him by his number. You come in, go.
Yeah.
You know, it's go find a guy. It's probably going to be different than the guy last year and next year and whatever. Like, part of me, and
4, by the way, Devon.
And I understand why you have that take, and I'm not even saying that it's wrong. I'm saying I'm tired of wasting energy on this. Number 4 is back, terrific. Well, number 12 probably would be just as good. So why do I even care?
I do feel that way with most positions. I don't feel that way with quarterback.
I just feel that way overall. I'm just I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just tired of spending energy on it. Like, people just glued to the snap talk. Like, is he going to announce it? Is it going to be this? What the Smith Snowden did the M thing yesterday on the snap talk or whatever, and
number 2, by the way, Smith Snowden.
Yeah, number 2 throws the horns down or whatever. It's M.
Yeah.
Gosh, what? I'm tired of wasting energy on it. You know what? And if anything at the University of Utah that I've come to understand is that cornerbacks in particular are replaceable because they seem to replace them all the time. Well, who's going to be the next Jalen Johnson? Well, the first Jalen Johnson was going all the way back to the dang late 90s and talking about those guys. Yeah. Talking about Arnold Parker and all these guys that were just freaking studs. They find a different one every year. So why should I waste energy on this other than the bitterness factor if he does in fact go to Michigan, which I'm always in for some bitterness.
But I'm with you. And that is how I feel about the transfer portal at Utah. Defensive side. Yeah, would it be better if you had all these great transfers coming in? Absolutely. And guys who make plays. And is it better that you got Jonathan Hall back than lose him? Of course. You would rather have John Henry Daly here than have to go out and find his replacement. Do I trust that Morgan Scalley can find his replacement? I do. I have no basis to believe that Morgan Scalley can replace quarterbacks. And that doesn't mean he can't, but just we've never seen him have to do that before. So not having to redesign an entire offense, because I still think Utah next year is going to win a lot of games because of their offense, is a major, major plus for the program to allow Morgan to hit the ground running and credit whatever Mark Harlan or Morgan or whoever had to do, Spence Eccles, to keep those two players specifically, Bird and more importantly Devon Dampier, apparently in a Utah uniform.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was sink or swim based on that. I mean, what's that horrible fiction sports book? Moneyball.
Well, I think the book is accurate. The movie's not.
The whole premise was, how is this franchise going to possibly even keep the doors open without Jason Giambi and
Miguel Tejada?
Did
they trade him?
He was still on the team. Yeah. It was Jason Giambi and who was the closer? They lost a closer and then they lost Johnny Damon to
Boston.
Boston. And they how on earth are they going to possibly continue? Well, the truth was the super bad guy had a secret formula that was going to win them the title.
Right.
If I remember that movie correctly.
Uh-huh.
Had nothing to do with...
I have a math equation that'll win us the championship. And it didn't have to do with whether they have Roy Halladay or whatever.
They had the best pitching staff in the league.
Yeah.
And the AL MVP, Miguel Tejada.
And Rookie of the Year.
Who somehow didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
No.
Overlook him.
It was about the...
Scott Hatterfield.
It's about the Cleveland Browns assistant GM who figured out a way to math it. Yeah, what was that idiot first baseman's name who took walks more than...
Hatterberg, not Hatterfield. Hatterberg.
Silliness.
Yeah.
But anywho, that whole thing was about players being absolutely replaceable by a math equation, apparently. So I will be happy when this is all over, except for it never ends. They say, well, the transfer portal closes, on Friday? What will stop a player from just saying, I'm out of here?
Nothing. Right. No, ideally it slows down teams contacting players, but then, as Mark Ottawaya said, and then it just opens up again, and then it's a free-for-all, and then it's a mad dash to the finish line. But I'm with you. Jake Murphy, who I really like a lot, the former Utah tight end, had a tweet the other day who said, if you don't like free agency in college football anymore, it's not for you. And outside of this being our job, I completely agree. It's probably just not for me anymore. I'm with you. I don't care. I don't care about the TikTok. I don't care about Twitter. I don't care about the I'm coming, I'm going. What does matter is opening night for Utah, who's going to be on the field. And I wish I could skip over all of this nonsense and all the drama involved with it and just say, you got a good team this year? Obviously, that's not what our jobs allow us to do. But I feel for fans. This is nonsense. This is pathetic.
It's funny that you bring up Jake Murphy, and then we can move on. Because there was a narrative around Jake when he left early to the NFL that, Utah hasn't had a good tight end in a decade. They're never going to be able to replace Jake Murphy. Are you kidding? They can't recruit tight ends to Utah. Yeah, that didn't.
And since they've had a run of the greatest tight ends they've ever had.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who were playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
A guy who had 300 yards against Stinkin' Riley in USC.
Yeah. Right, a guy who
Jake Murphy, not replaceable. No offense, Jake, but
actually
very replaceable.
Actually, quite. Yeah. No, Jake was a really good player.
He was awesome.
Yeah, no question.
He was the best tight end they'd had in 10 years.
Right. But then you just you just move on. So yes, to undermine my point is, you really need to have Devon Dampier and Bird Ficklin around until you find the next guy.
Until you don't.
You're never going to replace Cam Rising until you have two guys who are pretty good.
What's next?
Number 2, we got the Jazz at the Bulls tonight. Lauri Markkanen has been a late add to the injury report.
Questionable with an illness. Didn't specify what the illness was, but it has been going around.
Well, he's going to go out there and ragdoll his old team.
Well, he just did it against Cleveland.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Lowry revenge tour.
Yeah, motivated.
Well, the Jazz can beat Chicago without Lowry, though. The last time they played without Lowry, they lost by 55 to the Charlotte Hornets. So,
well, the key is Lowry and Nurk.
Is Nurk not playing?
I don't know.
I think Nurk is available.
But that was the key
Absolutely.
to the downfall against Charlotte.
Yes.
Both those guys being out in tandem. Because actually, Lowry, I know we have a tough time getting over narratives, but has played pretty tough all season.
Absolutely.
He had 12 rebounds against Cleveland.
He had 6 rebounds, I think, in the first quarter or 5, and it was just like he's
against their front line in particular. He's playing tough.
He is having an impact on the game beyond shooting,
Yeah.
which was not true, and it's why I've been historically a little skeptical on Lowry, because I don't care if you're 7 feet tall if your best skill is shooting. Now, it's great to be a 7-foot shooter, but do you do other things that are valuable that 7-footers do? Like rebound, like throw bodies around in the paint, like draw a ton of fouls on a mismatch. And he started doing that. He had Sam Merrill in hell all game, because if you switched on to him, it was a bucket, and the Cavaliers had no idea what to do, because I think they thought they could get away with bullying him with the smaller player, and you can't do that anymore.
No. And if you can't do any of that stuff Ben was talking about, be like Kelly Olynyk and just be able to stab somebody in the eyeball with your finger.
Figure out how to dislocate a shoulder.
Yeah.
Poor Kevin Love.
Poor Kevin Love. We should ask him about that.
I bet he wouldn't talk about it.
Really?
Actually, I don't know. He talks about everything.
It kind of feels like he does. Do it off mic. You can just sell him out.
He might
for
do it on mic. He may not care. Lowry just got a text. He's been downgraded to doubtful.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But
rough illness.
Getting worse.
You know,
a minute.
in all honesty, if people want to talk about what's the difference between beating Cleveland and losing to Charlotte, the answer is how many bigs do you dress?
Let me pull this up really quick. I wonder if the Jazz have a new cooler. Because I don't think it's Cody Williams anymore.
Oh, after his plus-minus against Charlotte, it might still be Cody Williams.
It could be. I wonder if it's Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah.
The Jazz didn't play him against Cleveland, and they won. And that's not to say it's all on Taylor, but Taylor has clearly just not fully rebounded to the player he was going into his second season.
Well, he's still got a long way to go from a skill standpoint, which was always true. All right, what's next?
Number 3, the Mammoth played one of their best games of the season last night. They beat the Maple Leafs 6-1. Dylan Guenther had 2 goals.
We talked to Cole Bagley yesterday on the show, and we did ask about, looks like Dylan Guenther's being moved down to the third line, not playing in the top 6, and then Daniil Boots moving up to the second line. Daniil Boots, a true rookie, and all of those guys scored. Daniil Boot had a goal, his second of the season, I think, and Dylan Guenther had 2 within a minute in the second period when it went from 1 to 3 and essentially put Toronto away. And again, that was an 8 p.m. tip-off because the game was on ESPN Plus and Hulu. It's not like it was the easiest game to find, but a nice performance on national TV. They're playing well.
Here's my hot take, Ben.
Let's hear it.
They should score 6 every game.
That'd be helpful. And you know what they should also do? Allow 1.
Yeah.
Veg. Get
Easy.
back to being veg last year.
Look out, Superbad guys. We've cracked hockey.
I care less about...
I have a formula. Be +5 in every game.
I care less about the 1 and more about the 6, and here's why. I'm going to use my Witt logic, my Kyle Whittingham analytics logic. What percentage of NHL games do you think are won by a team that scores 6 goals?
Oh, it's got to be 85, 90% at least.
Key to the game. That's it. You want to be a successful hockey coach?
Yep. Score a lot of goals.
Tell your team to score 6 goals a game. Bam. Done.
That
Don't argue with the math, Ben.
That was a little bit of Witt's logic.
Don't argue with the math.
That's how they lost to BYU. What did Sergachev do last night? He's been on a little bit of a heater. Did he have another point last night? No, he was just +1. He's been +1. So Sergachev has been one of the more disappointing players for the team this year after a pretty good season last year. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, they've been +1 with him on the ice. They've been better than they have been worse. And that was not the case to start the season.
Dylan Guenther had 3 points last night, right?
Yep.
2 goals and an assist.
Yep.
What percentage of games do you think the Mammoth win when Dylan Guenther has 3 points?
Maybe 100%.
Key to the game.
We need to get Guenther going.
That you win every game.
Yep.
All right. There you go. That's my advice for the Mammoth. Stay tuned. More next. We got to get to this Rich Paul stuff at some point.
It is great. I'm glad you brought it up. I was
Dying to
bring
get
it
to
up.
it. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's a Wednesday, Ben. That means it's a win ticket Wednesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. We're going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to go see Ski Joring Utah on January 16th. What is ski joring? It's the perfect mashup of horsepower and ski power where cowboys, horses, and skiers race through an obstacle course for thousands in prize money. Listen all day for your chance to win, or simply go to proskijor.com. That's proskijor.com. Cool. We're gonna talk the Rich Paul stuff. Coming up at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. And really what it is an overall NBA conversation, but it will start with him doing a podcast, interesting, with Max Kellerman.
Yeah, good for Max. Good get.
I think it's like the Rich Paul podcast, but Max is the host.
Yeah, Max is the host. You need somebody who can drive the ship, and steer the ship.
Max hasn't worked since Stephen A. stabbed him in the back, right? Stephen A. had him fired, and he still does the boxing, I guess. He's a boxing guy.
Yeah. Which is probably not a bad niche, in all honesty. If you can get in on the boxing thing, there's just not a lot of people angling for that, it doesn't seem like. You can probably carve out a little bit of a role. Problem is, there's probably not that much work.
I will say this, though. If you're fighting the rep of being a LeBron shill for your media career, starting a podcast with Rich Paul is probably not a great way to what do you bet me Nick Wright is a guest host as soon as he gets fired from Fox?
Or maybe you lean into it. Yeah, just lean into your thing. Understand your identity and say, well, could be worse. Again, and not to jump the shark on our next segment, but, well, that's not really the term. But I'm really curious what happens to all of these people when LeBron goes away. LeBron has an A list of hangers-on, A list of F-list celebrities. He's got the absolute best of the best. What happens to all these people?
Yeah, I don't know. Wendy re-upped with the Mouse. I was kind of surprised.
Did he get the deal? Okay.
I was kind of surprised about that. No, I don't know, because the next generation of Klutch players isn't great.
Yeah, they need
the
their
best
guy.
young player they have? That's why I'm saying that whoever's Wemby's agent needs to be playing defense right now. Defense.
Yeah.
Because he's the next one to have that heft.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
LaMelo Ball's not doing it for you.
I don't know who Cooper Flagg's agent is, but the fact that he's a New Balance guy or something, isn't he?
Yeah, New Balance.
Tells me that it ain't Rich Paul. How does Nike let that guy go to New Balance?
New Balance has thrown some weird money at people. And I mean, must just be crazy money to get a lot of the names that they have. Another kind of funny story locally is that Ace Bailey still doesn't have an agent. Ace Bailey's been doing all this by himself. He got rid of Omar Cooper, who was kind of his manager, but he also fired his agent at the time, and he's just been going. He's been going all Ace, which I think is pretty cool. I have no problem with that at all.
Oh, you don't? I mean, if who was it that Ray Allen, wasn't it, that proved you don't need an agent? He negotiated his deal with the Bucks, and he knew it was going to be a max deal.
I think Shea fired his agent right before he signed his new deal because he was like, "Why am I giving you money?
But,
I'm the best player in the NBA."
But you know what Rich Paul did? He hired, or not Rich Paul, sorry, Ray Allen. He hired Johnny Cochran. Because he's like, I just need a lawyer to do the paperwork or whatever. And I'm sure Johnny took it pro bono for the publicity alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably hasn't honestly done a contract. How long do you think it had been since, contract work usually is fairly early, in your legal career?
Yeah, right.
And now my wife, as a general counsel, does a lot of contract work, and that's just what it comes with the corporate area, So I'm not looking down on contract work.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
Somebody like Johnny Cochran probably hadn't done contract work since he was like 25.
Right. But the right guy.
Could have him walk in and draw up my contract, which is all dictated by the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, the collective bargaining agreement has written your contract for you.
That's what Ray Allen said. He's like, why am I carving off 10 points or whatever it is for an agent who's literally has nothing to do?
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Ace isn't quite there, but yeah.
Well, the Jazz just got Klutch out the door. If Ace signs with Klutch, they'd be right back in.
Right back in.
Hello.
I know.
Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton, right? I think are Klutch guys.
Yep, both. All right. Stay tuned.
And THT.
Oh, yeah, Hot Dog was too. Yeah. He's him. He's him. Remember when LeBron sent that out? He's him. It's Hot Dog.
That was a good one.
Now playing in Latvia or something.
That was a good one.
All right,
He's
stay
him.
tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, you can join Hanson Scotty G from noon to 3 at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown. Coming up today, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. Tim Daly, home of the Forever Warranty. Ben, Rich Paul has a podcast.
Bad news. Bad way to start a sentence.
Adele has allowed him to have a podcast.
Yeah.
Which, good for her. She's got to let him do his own thing.
Again, because I promised I would do this more. Rich Paul, as most people know, runs Klutch. Klutch represents LeBron James. Adele is dating or engaged to Rich Paul. So if for some reason you stumbled upon the show for the first time, you're trying to figure out what the hell Jake is talking about, that's what's going on.
She lost a bunch of weight, dumped her family, and now is
Rich Paul guy.
Lives in Hollywood with Rich Paul. So that's nice for her.
Yeah.
But she is the mouthpiece of the org, obviously.
The Rasputin, as you like to say.
Oh, yeah. She's doing the thing. So she's letting him have a podcast, which is nice of her. On that podcast, Rich Paul basically advocated that the Lakers should trade Austin Reaves in exchange for Jaren Jackson Jr. Or at least bandied that about with good old Max. Am I leaving anything out? Then Rich was approached by Austin Reaves' agent, and they had a stern convo, according to reports at last night's Laker game. And then LeBron was asked about it over and over again, and he had to say, Rich Paul doesn't speak for me. He's his own guy.
So, yes, Rich Paul on his podcast said we should trade, we being the Lakers, should trade Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr. To bring him back to become a defensive anchor. Austin Reaves is about to be a free agent. Austin Reaves is worth way more money in Los Angeles than he is in Memphis. Now, that doesn't mean his actual contract. He's going to get a huge contract. But being a star basketball player in Los Angeles means a lot more than being a basketball player basically anywhere else in the world, maybe outside of New York, and maybe even New York doesn't compare to L.A. Certainly Memphis does not compare to Los Angeles. So you're messing with Austin Reaves' long-term stardom, money, etc., by insisting that they trade him.
I'm sure his agent was not pleased.
Was not thrilled to hear that coming from the guy who does organize the way a lot of rosters look in the NBA. Does Rich Paul.
Or did, maybe. Maybe that's why the podcast.
That's what I was going to say, too. That was a point on our show earlier in the year, is Rich Paul's losing his clutch on the Lakers.
Yeah, on the
Like
league,
what you
really.
did there. Yeah.
And somebody's got to pay attention to him. So you go grab Max Kellerman off the couch and do a podcast.
Shake him.
Can we just talk for a minute how inappropriate it is for an agent to have an NBA podcast?
Talking about other players?
If Rich Paul did a podcast, honestly, if Rich Paul did a podcast about being an agent in the NBA, like about his day-to-day life, not necessarily, spilling the tea or whatever, I guess I'd be more understanding. But you can't have a podcast to spit your hot NBA takes. That's not something that's available to you. You're an agent.
Correct.
You're not an unbiased, I'm just going to throw out my hot trade take. You can't do the ESPN trade machine thing because you're an agent. Because you're in the room.
You're an agent who works specifically for the player who hired you. That's your only value.
It.
That's supposed to be your role. That's who you are.
If you want to do a cooking show, knock yourself right out.
Yeah.
You can't do a Skip Bayless type podcast. You know what I mean?
Yep. But
it has real life implications. That's why Austin Reaves' agent is so mad, as you you painted the picture so eloquently. Yeah, he's furious.
And also, he's talking about Jaren Jackson Jr., who he doesn't represent either. He says Jaren doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. What are you talking?
You literally can't do that.
He's not your guy. He says if you're building around Luka going forward, which they are, which again goes back to him grumbling about how the Lakers were operating this offseason and about not putting LeBron in a win-first situation because they were worried about Luka winning later. He says if you're building around Luka going forward, which they are, you need that anchor, and Jaren doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. That's a crazy thing for another agent to say.
You can't say that. Yeah. How does he not get fined, honestly?
Or lose, yeah, his ability to represent.
Yeah, right.
In all honesty.
Because you can't just do that. Or else like Scott Boras would have done it years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't. But one thing, though, I got to hand it to Adele's fiance is that he is kind of right.
Oh, he's 100% right.
Move off Austin Reaves before you have to pay him, because I don't think. I mean, are they going to pay him? But overlap with Luka alone. I mean, Austin has to have the ball to be good. And Luka has the ball. You'd be much better off investing in a player like Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's actually totally right about that. I, for once, agree with a Rich Paul managerial strategy. But if I'm the Lakers, I'm thinking about just that. But
well, let me paint a less romantic picture of him, yes, being right, which is looking at it, I would assume, again, there's a chance because he signs these short deals that they don't, but the Lakers should have LeBron's bird rights. Now, they probably have him for Austin Reaves, too, but here's the problem. Austin Reaves is going to be an unrestricted free agent, meaning if you pay him whatever it is, you're going to run into real financial difficulties paying Austin and then re-signing LeBron if LeBron wants more than the minimum. And Austin's never gotten paid before. Like, he's made okay money, but he's never gotten his max deal. And he's averaging 26, 5, and 5 this year. He's going to get a max deal from somebody. And he would probably prefer to be with the Lakers. If he's still in L.A. on a non-guaranteed deal this offseason and they have to give him money, they're not going to have as much money to give LeBron. But if you bring back a guaranteed contract, like it's already on the books, it's already established in Jaren, you might be able to pay LeBron easier.
Oh, I think they can't wait for LeBron to leave.
And they may want LeBron gone. They may just want LeBron gone.
I don't think there's any chance they minimum deal or not. I think they're excited. You faked an injury, not this. I can't actually say that, but sciatica had a sciatica flare up on. Missed the first part of the year. Trying to prove a point, which is kind of funny. But the Lakers are going nowhere.
And that is the other part of it, is that the Lakers are in some kind of trouble.
What does Austin Reaves do except for give you a player you've really already got in Luka and a backcourt that doesn't play defense? Because we saw that in Cleveland. I mean, Austin Reaves isn't going to stop anybody anytime soon, and neither is Luka. So
here's what LeBron said. Austin Reaves knows how I feel about him. All you got to do is look at us on the bench. Me and AR talk every single day. So AR knows how I feel about him, and I hope AR or his camp don't look at me and think this is words from me are coming through Rich, which is exactly what everybody thinks. That's certainly what I thought is, if Rich Paul's saying this is LeBron playing. What is LeBron's favorite job other than being a basketball player? Being the GM of his basketball team. LeBron loves playing GM. LeBron loves trading the players on his team to build a roster that he thinks he needs. I fully think this is LeBron talking.
Well, Rich and LeBron are rarely on. I mean, he's always operating in LeBron's best interest, whether they spoke that morning or not. But that quote just makes me laugh because he's calling him AR because he has no idea what his name is.
I've only seen his initials.
He didn't even pull the Donovan and Rudy. We go out to lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
He said, "Look at us on the bench. We talk all the time. Do you?
Yeah.
Look at us on the bench. Not even like, oh man, we play cards on the plane or something. It's look at us on the bench. We're constantly talking.
And by the way,
hey, old AR, what's his name? Adam.
Number 15 over there.
Adam Rivers.
Yeah.
Why does LeBron find it so easy to trade his teammates? He has no idea who they are.
Yeah, right. And it's the right move, right? That is from Moneyball. That's Brad Pitt. You're not friends with these players. Trade them. You got to be able to just call them and say, they're adults. You got to move on from them. So LeBron doesn't make good relationships with his teammates. So he can trade them.
Old AR. It's easy to trade AR. It's tough to trade Austin.
The funny thing is LeBron acting so benign in this situation as if he doesn't completely control everything Rich Paul does. Right. If he didn't like Rich Paul saying this, A, Rich Paul never would have said it, and B, he would have clapped back at Rich. He didn't clap back at Rich here and say, don't ever talk about my teammates that way. He just said, that's Rich.
See, what do you
want me to do? You gotta love Rich. What am I supposed to do?
I'll give you Adele's phone number.
Literally, he works for you. He literally is your employee.
Your agent.
He works off of your residuals. You make money. He gets paid out of that money.
And you know who knows that, by the way? Old AR.
Absolutely. Austin Reaves knows that. You could laugh with LeBron on the bench because what are you supposed to do? Guess what? There are probably politicians in the world I wouldn't like. If they come and sit in our room and are palling around with us, it's intimidating that these people are so important or powerful. You're probably going to chum up with them a little bit. You know, Austin Reaves.
I'm calling him that from here on out.
Austin Reaves has to be chummy with LeBron. Who's not going to be chummy with LeBron, especially when you're his actual teammate? Sitting next to him on the bench. You going to give him the cold shoulder? You think you're Dylan Brooks or whoever it is? Who was that ever worked out for? Apparently, Russell Westbrook wouldn't kiss the ring at times and was gone immediately. And Russell Westbrook is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, yeah, Austin Reaves has no choice but to pal around with him.
But see, and I agree with you on that point. But this is all LeBron has lost that power, though.
You think? I think it's the opposite. I think LeBron's lying.
I think Rich Paul is painting the Lakers into an awkward corner on purpose. I do, because he's got no love for the Lakers, so he doesn't care. He's painting that all of a sudden they're in trade. Just by saying it, he puts the headline that AR could be on the move. Yeah. It's a thing. It's now in
it's in the zeitgeist.
It's now out there.
Yep.
And I think he's doing that on purpose, yes. But he and LeBron barely speak, so I don't know what LeBron's role is. But, yeah, I don't think he has any love for the Lakers. He wanted an extension. They didn't give it to him.
Yeah, it's a real Kyle Whittingham situation.
They traded Anthony Davis, clutch guy, for Luka Doncic without telling him. That's one thing he said that I totally believe. Rich Paul said, I had no idea that was coming. I believe him.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see where the Lakers go. Again, the value here for the Jazz, and why this does matter somewhat, is the Jazz do own their pick next year, and they're not far from this collapsing.
Oh,
because I don't
nowhere.
think many teams are all that far from it collapsing. Some teams are pretty well insulated, but as we've seen, the Phoenix Suns make the finals, trade for Kevin Durant, which they thought was an upgrade, and 2 years later are the laughingstocks of the NBA. That happens really, really quickly in the league, and the Lakers are certainly not immune to that, especially in the post-LeBron earthquake of just filling a void of somebody who controlled everything on the team. And Luka can do some of it, but I think Luka liked doing it in Dallas. I don't know if he knows how to do it in Los Angeles.
Well, it's a terrible team. And I don't know if Luka will ever win big. I really don't.
And here's the really funny thing.
Jaren Jackson's career will take a hit if he gets traded to the Lakers. You think it would be a boost, but watch his numbers go straight down.
It will be interesting to see because outside of LeBron, their best player, not named Luka Doncic, is Austin Reaves. By far, he's their best player. He plays zero defense.
None.
What does Luka not do either?
That's what I'm saying. Those two together,
you
disaster.
Can't play them together, yes.
You can't pay them together either.
Right. If you commit $90 million to that backcourt, you're never going to win anything serious because you're not going to be able to overcome the defensive issues there. So in a way, they do have to get rid of Austin Reaves. Now, they can do it after they sign him to a contract. They can do it.
Right.
They don't have to do it right now. They can do it next season after they sign him and hopefully get more back.
But you risk him just leaving.
But, are you betting on DeAndre Ayton or Rui Hachimura or Jared Vanderbilt or Jake LaRavia? I'm just trying to go through the Lakers roster off the top of my head.
He's out there guarding Vanderbilt.
None of those guys are long-term pieces next to Luka. They're truly going to have to hit the reset button fully this summer if LeBron goes elsewhere. And they're just waiting for LeBron to leave or retire or whatever so they can hit that reset button. And it's going to drop off quickly before they start to come back up. And they will be back to being competitive because Luka's really good and they'll get players who want to go play in Los Angeles. But I don't think it's going to be the flip of a switch overnight. And the Jazz could benefit from that, owning their pick next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I would be shocked if the Lakers really bottomed out next year.
They're not going to try because, again, they don't know their pick, so there's no reason to try. Some things are out of your control.
Luka alone might be good enough to keep them in the play-in, at the very least.
Probably.
Yeah.
If they're trying. I agree with that take.
I don't know. We'll see we'll see how long Luka stays motivated.
Fat Luka's coming back?
He could. He easily could. If this gets ugly and it's not his people, again, he loved Dallas. He loved the city. He loved that it was Dirk's team. He loved being a part of all of that. I'm really curious if he loves Los Angeles. He may not. It may not be for him.
Do you think he has Sean Penn-like clout where he could smoke while he was warming up or something?
Yes. Luka could vape during the layup line. And they'd be like, there he goes. He's vaping.
Wow, incredible.
That's awesome. Good for him. Good for Luka.
Way to go.
Stop doing that.
All right. We've got what you got Wednesday coming up next?
Uh-huh.
I think today could either go really
Did
well.
we pick a sports one?
Or really poorly. Yeah, we did.
Oof, I forgot what it was. I have to do some work during the break.
It won't be a hard one to research.
Okay.
One of them will be difficult.
Yeah.
The other one, not so much.
Okay.
All right, stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. it down, flush it down. Emo skater Ben with a devious grin. Jake rolls his eyes, lets out a sigh within. If rules had feelings, they'd probably cry. Ben's chaos just makes them fly. What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around.
That'd be a funny draft. Things that are supposed to be good that are actually horrible.
Jake and Ben join. What am I doing here, Christian? Apologies. Of course. Join Hans and Scotty on Friday from noon to 3 at Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. It is time for What You Got Wednesday. If you're new to the show, every Wednesday, Ben and I go head-to-head in 2 5-selection drafts, one sports-related, one not, and then we put it out to the Snap Talk voters.
What happened last week?
Yeah, what happened last week, Christian?
Last week, give me just a second to pull it up. Best all-time players from the college football playoff semifinal teams. Ben won 52-48.
Wow, close.
And least likable celebrities, Jake won 68-32.
Wow. Well, that's right up your alley.
That is right up my alley. Bill Cosby really brought it home for me.
A lot of Mel Gibson fans out there. Apparently, I hurt your feelings. Sorry, Mel loyalists.
Okay. So I have the first pick in the sports one, which I actually don't want. And Ben has the first pick in the not sports.
Yep.
All right. What's today's sports-related draft?
Jazz are playing tonight in Chicago against the Bulls. We're going to go with best Chicago Bulls of all time, but no Michael Jordan.
Two once very proud franchises.
Yeah.
That have fallen on hard times.
Best Bulls of all time, sans Michael Jordan.
The non-MJ Bulls.
Is there an automatic number one pick?
Of course there is.
Scottie Pippen.
Yep. Weirdo person. Not been great with his money.
Fine basketball player.
A heck of a ball player.
He's got a noisy ex-wife?
Larsa?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
He's
noisy. She might not be as nuts. He might be nuts.
She dated MJ's son.
Yeah, she dated Malik Beasley. Still not in the NBA.
All I said was noisy. That's noisy.
Sure. Yeah, she's noisy. Pippen might be dumb. All right. I will go with, is there an obvious number 2?
I think there is.
Do you? I'm going to go Jimmy Butler. And I don't think that's probably who most people were thinking.
Nope. I'm going to go with Jerry Sloan.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. The original Bull.
That's the automatic. Have you ever talked to, I don't know if your dad would qualify, but I've talked to my dad about Jerry as a player, and he just raves about Jerry the player. Toughest guy I've ever seen,
Yep.
all that stuff. Jerry Sloan. He was the first Bull with their number retired, I think.
Yeah, he was the first Bull picked in the expansion draft. Because, again, Jerry actually didn't start his career with Chicago, which is what people think. He started his career with the Bullets. And I think after his rookie season, got picked up by Chicago in the expansion draft.
Yep. Jerry Sloan.
Yeah. Shout out Jerry. I had him number 2 on my board. I just didn't take him. All right, I'll go Rodman. Give me the worm. Also, loud personal life.
Very loud personal life. That is.
Did you read the story, his agent? There were some comments from his agent over the weekend.
No, what did he say?
Can't say it, but I thought it'd be up your alley.
I'm going to go with Derrick Rose. Won the MVP.
Yeah. Speaking of also noisy people.
I feel bad for him that Tibbs burned him out.
Why is he not higher? Just because his career was so short? His prime was so short?
Career short, bozo person. Yeah.
I think Dennis Rodman was a better player. I mean, obviously not very comparable because they are different
Yeah, I mean,
positions.
Derrick Rose won an
skill sets
MVP and won
all
Rookie
that.
of the Year. His career was so short in Chicago. I mean, he was always hurt. He was one of the, he was Ja Morant on steroids. Was a better player than Ja in his prime and was hurt more often and had equal legal troubles off the floor. So that's, yeah, absolutely. All right, I would go, here's what's crazy. This list thins out quick. The Bulls do not have a great history of good players. And I could go way back in time. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try and keep it a little more modern. Another guy who's become shockingly underrated in recent history, Joakim Noah, who is awesome. Or as Dennis Lindsay liked to call him, Joakim Noah. Give me Joakim Noah.
Could not throw it in the ocean.
Couldn't. But, man, he helped you win basketball games. Very Dennis Rodman-y, actually. Couldn't score at all. You were way better when he played for your team than when he didn't.
I'm going to stay in the 90s era because I think that's what most people think about, and I'll say Horace Grant.
Okay. And then went to the Magic and beat the Bulls with Shaq. The only time Jordan lost in the playoffs during that run in the 90s.
I told you a story about my buddy Tony that sat next to Harvey Grant at a Washington Wizards game and thought he was sitting next to Horace.
Huh. Well, they were twins, right? Or at least very similar looking brothers.
Yeah, and they looked the very similar. But I guess Harvey had to stop him and he was like, "Hey,
you're talking to the wrong guy here.
I'm Harvey Grant."
Boy,
and probably followed up with, I played for Washington and was good.
Yeah, it was good. I was also a good player.
My brother played for the Bulls and the Magic. Why
Right.
would he be sitting at a Washington Wizards game?
Underrated NBA family because Jeremy Grant, part of the fam. Jerry and Grant also. All right, I'm going to go with DeMar DeRozan. You're killing me on this list. You just got better players. But
Happens. Sorry, pal.
DeMar DeRozan.
All right. Man, where to go from here? Do you take somebody known for being a Bull or some? You know what? I'm gonna stay with it. Why not? Everybody loved him. Tony Kukoc.
Oh yeah, good pick. I didn't have him on my list.
I think I could have taken some better players. We could talk after, but he's a pretty synonymous Bull.
You're a great player. Yeah, absolutely great player. Helped issue in the European craze. All right, I'll go with the other guy. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I'll go with Norm Van Leer.
Yeah, I didn't think old Normie would get me many votes.
Yeah, in fact, I should have gone with a more modern name. I probably could have taken Pau Gasol.
See, or like Ben Wallace or somebody who are all better players than Tony Kukoc, but who remembers Pau Gasol playing for
Right,
the
and
Bulls?
honestly, I'd forgotten that he made an
Right.
all-star team with the Bulls.
I mean, I thought about Carlos Boozer.
Yep.
Um,
If you're talking about like Bulls guys,
yeah.
you're drafting at this point. It's like Luol Deng
Right.
and Ben Gordon, like lousy.
Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, pretty lousy players. When we're talking about the 10 greatest of all time, you know, when you're talking about getting down to number 10 and you're picking between guys who were okay to good players in their prime, but not stars.
All right, review, Christian.
Jake, you had the number one pick. You went Scottie Pippen, Jerry Sloan, Derrick Rose, Horace Grant, and Tony Kukoc. Ben went Jimmy Butler, Dennis Rodman, Joakim Noah, DeMar DeRozan, and Norm Van Leer.
Like, with all due respect, Jerry being the number 3 overall pick and it not being an outrage is a sign that the Bulls didn't have that much talent. Jerry was a good player.
I got both my guys because I thought I considered taking Jerry 1 because
Yeah,
I thought
I
for
did too.
sure
I thought
you would take Jerry 2, and Jerry's going to get you votes.
He is. You're going to win because you got Scotty and Jerry.
And
for
Jerry.
Sure.
Yep.
And then Derek doesn't hurt when I'm getting Joakim Noah next.
Feeling good about it.
You had way better strategy than I did.
This next one, I think we're going to be all over the board, which I kind of like.
Absolutely.
What is our not sports topic today?
In honor of Rich Paul, we're going to go with people whose names you should not know.
People that we know that you shouldn't, in honor of Rich Paul. Like, why do I know
Famous
Laurent's
names
agent so well?
that nobody should know.
Right. Okay. You have the number one pick, and I don't think there's an obvious number one.
Christian, do you? I'm going to go controversial right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
I'm going Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, we shouldn't know her.
We
I
should
agree with
not
that.
ever know Monica Lewinsky's
Yeah,
name.
That is controversial.
She's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We should not know who you are, person.
Yep, totally.
And I think it's important to remember, Monica's fully the victim in that situation. Monica, now she's a consenting adult, but the power imbalance is so dramatic there.
You don't have to qualify it, Ben. We get why you picked it.
Monica Lewinsky. I'm not trying to hammer Monica.
This was
Bad
my.
phrasing.
I mean,
I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
that's rough.
embarrass her.
Yeah, Monica was not on my board, so you did not take my number one pick.
Okay.
My number one pick, Dick Bavetta. Why do we know any referee's name, let alone
Correct, absolutely.
Dick Bavetta?
No, that's I think that's the theme. That's the name of the game, is why do we know these people's names? But, like, there are people who are, by design, supposed to be anonymous. Why do we know who you are?
Dick, the game's not about you, bro.
It's not about you at all.
It's not about you at all. Why do we know your name? You stink, Dick.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick.
Okay. I'm going to go with another guy. You are a little older than I am, so I wonder if you have a better sense of this. And I wonder if there are some people who are like my parents' age, boomers, that would have a better understanding that this person was already famous. But I didn't feel like he was. And I'm going to go with Bernie Madoff. I didn't know who he was until he ran the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time. Was Bernie Madoff like...
No, he was just another hedge fund
Ted
manager.
Turner or
Yeah,
these like
no.
super billionaire. Okay. And then he became infamous. We should never know who he is,
Sure.
A, because of his actions. But yeah, Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, you definitely are going in way different direction than me, which
It
I
only
think is
gets
fine.
better. Don't worry.
Okay, see, some of these are going to give me no votes because I have to explain them, but I'm going to go with Elliot Ness.
Okay.
He wasn't even a cop. He was a treasury bozo that
Yeah.
busted Al Capone for tax charges, and yet we paint him as America's greatest law enforcement
Yeah,
hero.
some detective.
False.
Yeah.
False.
Yeah.
Enforcing a law nobody liked.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Why do we worship that guy?
Yeah.
I'm sure we could find any
Right.
number
There's
of...
like even a Simpsons episode where they're like talking about Elliot Ness. Homer becomes a bootlegger.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I like the movie. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
The movie's great, but not FBI. He's not even a sheriff. He's an accountant. Why are we worshiping this accountant?
Yeah.
Lame. Elliot Ness.
I think it's a good pick. I'm going to go with a name that you said earlier today. It shocked me because it's not a name we talk about a lot. But again, to the point of this is probably somebody who should be anonymous.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to go with Johnny Cochran. You should not know who famous lawyers are. Our willingness to make celebrities out of the law is a really bad thing in our country.
I could not agree more. I actually thought of that. But I did not. I wasn't going the Johnny Cochran route. I was going to go. Do you remember Rusty Hardin? You remember that bozo in the hat that represented Roger Clemens?
Oh,
and
yes.
that every athlete / celebrity in the world was
Yes.
hiring this guy for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I thought nobody would know. But I agree with you on the celebrity lawyer thing. Why do we know who you are?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
No.
You represent your client. End of story.
So I get you. I get you there. Okay. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Scooter Braun.
Okay.
You're the producer. You're not the star.
Yeah.
You're the producer. Your role in life is to sit in the studio and help produce the
Yeah.
product. You're not the star. You're not the face.
Yeah.
You're not any of that.
Yeah. By definition, and remember this, Christian, you're behind the scenes. We told you to turn your mic on.
I'm
Honestly,
staying here.
It's the role.
No,
You're
it
the
is.
producer.
It's really important.
And actually, it's important that you stay faceless because then other stars hire you because you don't
Yeah.
suck all the oxygen out of the room.
All right. It's a good pick. Speaking of financiers, Jeff Epstein.
You were going super dark on this.
We shouldn't know who Jeffrey Epstein is.
We should know who a lot of, yeah.
And he is a household name. He is
is.
one of the most consequential names of the last 10 years in our country. And we should never know who a big money donor is to political parties, especially a guy who apparently donated money to everybody. But there were other reasons. So, Jeff.
Okay. I'm going to go with Steve from Jerry Springer. Now he has a last name, but I think people will know Steve. You know, he was the security guy,
The bald guy.
for Jerry Springer that broke up all the fights.
He looks
And
like Chickless, who you were talking about earlier.
Everyone loved him. Everyone chanted Steve. Why is it necessary for a television talk show to have a security guy?
Let me reverse engineer your question. If your talk show requires a security guy, you shouldn't have that talk show.
Yes, exactly.
If we needed somebody, an arbitrator, to come in to keep us from beating each other up every day, KSL Sports would cancel our show.
I don't know. That sounds like a fun show.
And that person would become a celebrity.
Yeah.
because he breaks up so many fights amongst the world's most terrible people. Steve, we love you.
Yeah.
But why do we know who you are?
Steve from Jerry Springer. All right, I'm going to go Jackson Mahomes, who's been in
That's a good one.
several of these drafts for us. Bad family members, were siblings, et cetera, et cetera. But Jackson Mahomes is a name we know, and we should never know who Jackson Mahomes' brother is or who Patrick Mahomes' brother is. And the fact that we do, and I'm probably not the only person who thought of that who's listening to the show. And I actually had him number 1 on my list. I got him at 5 because I went dark.
No,
quickly.
that's a good one. You did go dark. Yeah, some of the world's most terrible people.
We'll talk after.
All right, my last one, and this will get me no votes, and I've already talked about this today. Billy Beane.
Yeah.
You're a terrible GM.
Yeah.
You got
I
lucky.
think it's Billie.
You got
Could be wrong.
lucky, and then you wrote a book about it. You wrote a book about what a genius you are.
He didn't even write the book. Who wrote the book? It's that guy who writes every book. Chris or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Tell the world what a genius you are. You were a subpar general manager.
Michael Lewis.
For a terrible organization.
And then you got played by Brad Pitt, which only upped your lore.
Why do we know who you are?
Yeah.
Do you know who the current GM
No,
of the Oakland
not
A's
a
was?
clue.
And then Billy Beane did a terrible job for like another decade after that book was written.
Yeah.
Why do I know who you are?
Yeah. I think that's totally fair. Other names on your list? Christian, anyone jump out to you?
I've got tons.
No, I had no idea where to go with this.
Okay.
I am very curious to see what our listeners have to say, though. So if you have anything, send it in on the call-in feature.
All right, well, review real quick, and then we can digest further.
Ben, right off the bat, you came in swinging. Monica Lewinsky,
missed an S in her name.
Bernie Madoff, Johnny Cochran, Jeffrey Epstein, and Jackson Mahomes. Jake went Dick Bavetta, Elliot Ness, Scooter Braun, Steve from Jerry Springer, and Billy Beane.
I feel like mine require a lot of explanation.
Yours did. Mine didn't, which is why I think mine fits the name of the list. But you're going to beat me with the Bulls.
Let's see. I considered John Gotti, but then you went so into the criminal world. I feel like I couldn't do that. I had Ken Burns.
Okay, Ken's cool. I have not watched the American Revolution. I watched the first
he's a
episode.
talented documentarian.
Yeah.
Why do I know your name? Don't
Correct.
put Ken Burns as baseball or whatever. Just
Yeah.
baseball.
Yeah, you're right.
You narcissist,
Yeah, you're
crazy
right.
person.
You're right.
Who else did I? Al Roker. Why should
The
you be
weather guy on TV. You get to know Al.
dude? And I know we have weather people that listen to this show, so I want to be careful not to
And have their own fame.
But weather is just give me the weather. The
Sure.
weather is the star.
The weather's the star.
not the weatherman.
Absolutely.
Dr. Phil, but I feel like I couldn't take him like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. I had Joe Jackson, which could have been either Shoeless Joe, but more importantly, Michael Jackson's father.
Yeah, you went super dark
well,
with this.
it gets darker. Mark Furman.
Okay.
Everyone knows Mark Furman. Do you know who Mark Furman is, Christian? Mark Furman was the detective who gathered all the evidence in the OJ trial. But then they looked back in his past and he had a bunch of either racial profiling or racist remarks, and they kind of used that to paint OJ as the victim in the case. I could, after I went with Johnny Cochran, I couldn't take Furman or a true victim, Ron Goldman. You don't want to be known for being Ron Goldman. That was Nicole Brown Simpson's boyfriend.
Why are we doing this? Are
got
we trying
murdered.
to depress everybody listening to the show?
And then finally, Dodi Al-Fayed, who was in the car with Princess Diana when she
Oh,
got killed.
Lord.
I'm just telling you, that was on my list. I didn't pick those
Are you
names.
kidding? I've got names like Jerry Jones. Ben's bringing up Mark Furman.
Yeah.
And the person who died with Princess Di.
Well, we get to take different approaches in this draft. You said right before this draft, there's going to be a long list of names.
They
It's
do
gonna
it
be
to
a
me
wide
every time, man.
variety.
Just trying to do an upbeat draft segment, and Ben's got to bring up Mark Furman.
I thought you would have liked Epstein better.
Why would I have liked that? What? No, not even on my list.
Anyways,
He's not wrong. Just a little dark.
don't hate the player, hate the game.
I'm bringing up Elliot Ness. Ben's talking about the dude who died with Lady Di. Wow. All right, wrapping up the show. Coming up next,
Vote on Twitter.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got him and Jackson on soul. Loves his tie-dye, Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my. From the islands to the basketball courts, they mainly engage in their thoughts.
Thumbs down. How do you go throughout your day thinking of all this horrible stuff?
It's on Yahoo.
Ben
I get my
just
news,
has
yahoo.com.
Ben just has the just most awful things
I do
in
sometimes
the
hit you
world
with the dog dying right before.
that go through his brain 24/7. I don't know how you get out of bed in the morning. I'm not even kidding. Oh. Anywho, they do it to me every time. I love that Casey Kasem thing. I apply that rant to my personal life
Absolutely.
like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Get Bob on the phone. You ever get distracted with what you're mad at with something entirely different, and you're mad about that?
Uh-huh.
Like where are those glossies I was supposed to sign? Get Bob on the phone when he's ranting really about the dog dying.
100%. My poor kids.
Right, you're really mad about the
Whatever
egg you
it
just
is.
dropped.
Yeah,
but
whatever
then
it
you
is.
notice the roller skates sitting out.
Yeah, right.
know.
You didn't bring your plates upstairs.
But you're really mad about whatever it is.
Whatever I've done. Whatever mistake
you've
I've made.
done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot to do that.
But then you notice the other thing that makes you mad.
Yeah, right. And
That
then
was our
jumps up to a 10.
That was doing a show with our guy Kyle Gunther, who you would start one place and get mad. He'd get mad at something, and then that would remind him of something else he was mad about. But then it would spin to like 3-4 things down the road, and then he'd get mad about 4th and 18, and then it would be over.
Yeah. But that was his magic also.
It absolutely was his magic.
Yeah.
I love it how it all span down to 4th and 18 too. That was
came
just
back.
it always spiraled to that. But I love it that Casey does it in that rant too.
And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all
Snuggles,
understand,
best
whether we
thing.
have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please.
I'll tell you what.
See, when you come out of those up-tempo numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay,
Don.
I want a concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a up-tempo record every time I do a death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Last time, I want somebody to use his brain to not come out of a record that is that's up-tempo, and I got to talk about a dog dying.
He's clearly mad about whatever movie he was supposed to see, that he was supposed to get free tickets to, that he went up to the front door and they're like, we never heard of you, Mr. Kasem. There's no seats for you. So he spends, at the time, 75 cents to go in and see whatever movie he's supposed to be advertising for out of his own pocket, gets mad about it. It's been haunting him, and then he takes it out on the dog.
I get why he's
And
mad.
Is it Bob? Don?
Don.
Don.
Don't
Get Don on the phone.
don't play me the Herman's Hermits and then come into a dead dog. We're doing a draft
Yeah.
about
Best Bulls, and then hit me with Mark Furman. I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's a downer. Get Lloyd on the phone. And where are those pictures?
The pictures I was supposed to see. Do we think he was talking about movies? I kind of think that's what he was talking about.
Who was talking about movies?
Casey Kasem.
What movie?
Where's the pictures? What happened to the pictures I was supposed to see?
Wasn't that old?
No, I think he was supposed to get like pictures, like promotional
You
pictures.
think actual photos?
Yes.
I think he's talking about going to see a movie.
Not like the 1940s.
Yes, the moving pictures.
I think he was. He was old school.
Hans and Scotty are next. 97.5
Thanks,
DKSL
Christian.
Sports Zone.